Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is my professions, exploration disciplines, harvesting and crafting guide for Crowfall. Crowfall is a little bit different. They don't call it professions, but it's basically the same thing. You're harvesting, you're crafting, you're getting materials, you're making cool stuff. It's a good time. You know, it's a really big part of Crowfall. Some players can literally, this is all they do in Crowfall is harvest and craft. Your entire end game can be harvesting and crafting if that's what you want it to be. I'm not an extremely good crafter, but I understand the systems enough to be able to give you a baseline to be able to, you know, start your journey in Crowfall. And then I'll have some links below to some more in-depth tutorials or more in-depth resources that go into the real nitty-gritties of crafting especially. But I'll be able to give you enough tips here to get you going, get your feet wet, and start your experience of harvesting and crafting in Crowfall, which is extremely important because the best gear in Crowfall is all crafted. Before we jump into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit the bell, you leave a comment, leave a like, go over to my Twitch channel, leave a follow there. I stream every single day, 6 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/DibboDavGans. If you got a question you want to ask me directly, you can do that over there every time I'm live. I also run a new player guild and a new player Discord. Those links are in the description, along with a 10% discount code for Crowfall. So thank you so much for watching this video, and let's get into the information. Your discipline, your exploration disciplines are how you upgrade mining and jewel crafting, right? So when you think of exploration disciplines in this game, think about professions in other games. So as you can see, this rune maker, this is a green rune making discipline, right? You start off with white, actually, because I'm on test, I can buy a green right here. You start off with a white one. So for logging, right? Logging, when you get that white one, you're allowed to make intermediate axes, and then you're going to be able to go chop down trees and get a chance at it's an RNG, and then if you're in a PvP zone, that percentage chance goes up as well. So you want to like harvest in PvP zones. Anyways, so you get a chance at dropping this green version of the discipline. This is the green versions where actually everything starts. So the white is just kind of like, hey, there's a white one now, you go get a green one, and then the green one's actually where everything actually opens up. So with the green one, you're allowed to then equip the tool belt, which are these down here. And these tool belts give you extra buffs based on that profession. So for stonemason crafting belt, when I put this on, I get stonemasonry experimentation points +1, right? As I do the profession or the exploration discipline, right, as I do stonemasonry, I get our RNG chance at dropping more of these green disciplines. I combine 3 green disciplines to make a blue discipline. I can combine 3 blue disciplines to make a purple, 3 purples to make a legendary, right? Along with needing gold, and I'm not sure, did they took out upgrade majors. So if I put in 3 exploration disciplines right here, actually fuck it, I'll show you real quick. Hold on. I get 3 of those. I need to get some dom dust. Hold on. Dom dust. Okay. So if I I got 3 of these, boom, 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 right? Put in some soul essences, put in some domination dust. Now I have a blue one, right? Because I have a blue one, now I have better necromancy statistics, better experimentation points, and you know what I mean? My buffs have gone up, right? And now I can also do the same with the tool belts, right? So your tool belts and your exploration disciplines go all the way up to legendary. Based on what you have, the better chances you have at making better shit and the better shit you can make. And for harvesting, it's the better chances you have at dropping better resources, and you can actually harvest those higher rank nodes and use them to their full potential. And that's not it, because you can also use potions, food, and other buffs and things to even get better chances at dropping stuff. So sorry, this video is a little bit all over the place. I've recorded this in multiple different places. For instance, like the intro was at one time. There's this Twitch clip where I was talking about how to upgrade disciplines. But right now, this segment of this is we're going to be talking about how to use tool belts, or how to upgrade tool belts and what they really are. So a tool belt is something that gives you extra kind of buffs to what your profession is. And you can upgrade them just like you can upgrade disciplines in that last clip. So in this clip, we're going to be showing you how to upgrade them, and I'm going to be talking about kind of like what the point of this is. All right, so you can you can upgrade your belt from anywhere. You don't necessarily have to be at that rune crafting table. You can just hit the J key and open up where it says upgrade crafting belt. And really right here, what it does is it honestly really tells you everything you need. But the belt itself, right, has stats on it to buff the chances of whatever you're doing, right? So just like the disciplines do, the belts just kind of add that little extra spice, you know what I mean? Just kind of adds that little extra stuff to what you're crafting. And just like the disciplines, you need 3 of the belts, but then also you need 9 total disciplines and domination dust to be able to upgrade the belt. Now belts are really strong as well. I mean, they're very helpful for what you're doing. The stats on them are really great. As you can see, that raises your leather working cap, your experimentation cap. It increases the quality of what you can make drastically, right? So a good tip is to go in this upgrade order, right? You want to go discipline, you want to get a green discipline, green belt, blue discipline, purple discipline, blue belt, purple belt, right? And then legendary discipline, legendary belt. That's kind of the order you want to go in. I don't know if I've said that in any other part of this video. But yeah. So going into the next part, we're going to show you how to make a quiver and kind of talking about, you know, what goes into that process of crafting an actual piece of gear that you equip. When crafting, you'll see this blue icon on the UI. When you hover over it, it tells you the different types of resources that you combined and what it will come up with. So for instance, animal bone, when you put it into this, will create powdered animal bone. And each one of these types of resources change the outcome of what you're actually creating. I'll put a link down in the description to winterblades.net, and what they have on there is the combinations of every single type of item and what that will turn into. And you can see the types of items that you need to maybe to create the specific type of item that you're looking for. There's going to be things that do buffs to healing and things that do buffs to damage and things that do buff to your overall, you know, type of damage, penetration or slashing or crushing. So you want to make sure that you're combining your materials properly to be able to have the final outcome on the crafted piece of gear that you make. So in this little part of the video here, I'm going to take you through the steps of crafting a quiver. You know, not everything in Crowfall is super straightforward as far as crafting. Like you can't just normally use one type of discipline to be able to craft some things. For instance, quivers, you need to be able to have weaponsmith and woodworking, because weaponsmith you have to make the arrowheads with, and then woodworking you use to make the rest of the quivers. And what I'm going to show you here is the differences in kind of like the process of crafting. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the best crafter in the world, but I hope you'll be able to learn a little bit of the system from this. And I'm going to be able to link a lot of more better information in the description. All right, so we're going to get started with this quiver here. We're at the blacksmithing station. This footage was provided by a good friend named Maniac. He was able to help us out get some of this footage. You don't necessarily need the weaponsmithing discipline to be able to make arrowheads, but weaponsmithing is normally what you use at this blacksmithing table here. And what I'm showing you here is you're making fuel. So the very beginning of most crafting processes is you're going to have to make fuel. And in this case, it's coal. And right here, what we talked about a little bit earlier in this video, I'm hovering over this, or Maniac's hovering over this blue circle. This shows you if we're putting in a specific type of ore, we're going to get a specific type of arrowhead. So because we're putting in iron, we're going to be getting a piercing arrowhead bundle. And now whenever you craft something, you have the ability to put additional points inside of specific stats on that component or on that final assembly. And you can add risk to how you want to, you know, roll each one of these tick marks on this stat here. Higher risk, you're going to have a higher base number added, right? So I think it goes all the way up to like 3.5 per tick, but if it doesn't work, you're going to not get anything. And then you can also use polish to be able to bring up the lowest experiment points, re-roll those again. So overall, we got a 65.05 roll on that, which is pretty good, but we didn't take any risks, so it is possible to get that higher. Okay, so now we're over at the woodworking station here, and we're going to use that arrowhead bundle we just made to be able to craft this quiver. And now you do need the woodworker discipline to be able to craft a quiver, unlike before where you don't necessarily need that weaponsmith discipline to make the arrowheads. So when crafting, you want to remember what we talked about with the fuel. The fuel is kind of what is the very first level, but right now I'm making the next level, which is called the wood processing, right? So this is kind of how you make, I guess, the wooden components is what you can think about to be able to get to the final component or in final weapon component, because weapons have multiple components in them, but for instance the quiver doesn't have any extra components. It just has that wood processing and the arrowheads that you use from the blacksmithing table. And if you can see right here, you can actually flaw the assembly and completely, basically it doesn't work. So you have to use ethereal dust to be able to redo the craft. Before, actually, you were just screwed. You just couldn't redo that. But now you can actually redo the craft for a specific number of ethereal dust. And you see we're rolling again on this quiver to try to get the damage as high as possible. We're not using any risk, so we're not going to be able to get super high, but we're going to be able to get pretty good. Unfortunately, that one of those rolls there wasn't the best it could possibly be. And so we got a pretty decent quiver there, but it wasn't, the best it could be. It's 59 damage, not bad at all. I hope that helped. Like I said, I'm not the best at crafting in this game. I'm trying to, learn the best I can at this. To me, it's not a system that I personally enjoy, but I still feel like it's important for me to be able to try to explain some of this stuff to you guys. That's why we went with crafting and quiver, because that's really the only thing that I really have done a lot, because I love playing Ranger. So I craft quivers for myself when I need to. What I'll do is I'll post like I said before, in the description, there'll be multiple different resources for you to be able to find more information on crafting. This is just kind of like that base starter guide on kind of like how you can think about crafting. And really the biggest tip out of this that I want you to take is that there's normally 4 steps on what you're making. Could be more, could be less, but it always goes fuel, then the processing component, which for woodworking would be wood processing, right? And it would be the arrow shaft bundle or the composite plank or something like that. And then you use that to create components of whatever you're making. And then those components go together to make the final thing. And every single step of the way, you can have different rolls. You can use different quality material to end up with a final version of something that, is pretty unique to you. And then you're able to use things like factories and duplicate that item for your entire guild. So I hope this helped, guys. I appreciate you watching this video. And, if you got more questions, come over to my stream, twitch.tv/DilboDagwins, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.